Runkle of the Bailey has been a channel that I have been very interested in watching during all of this happening. He's a criminal defense lawyer, and he posted a video a couple days ago that we watched, and I thought it was incredible. And it really opened my eyes a lot. Obviously, there's conversations happening a lot, but hearing like a fellow YouTube creator that also is like a criminal defense lawyer, I think it kind of opened my eyes more, because I think there's been so much happening within the online world that hearing someone that was a criminal defense lawyer that was also posting on the online world, it was kind of like my two worlds meeting in the middle. And I just saw, so I'm currently live right now, and he posted another video literally 34 minutes ago, and everyone was like tagging me to watch this. And it is Vanity Fair defends grooming in Colleen Ballinger article. So make sure to go over and subscribe and send love, because I was watching some of his other videos as well. And I mean, between him and Emily D. Baker, I feel like I'm a lawyer myself. The delusions kick in. So anyway, let's get to this video, but please go over and send some love. All right, let's go.
Welcome to Runkle of the Bailey. My name is Ian Runkle. I'm a Canadian criminal defense and firearms lawyer.
Hey.
Today I want to talk a little bit more about Colleen Ballinger. Now, if you're not familiar with what her story is, she's a famous YouTuber, comedian, singer, all of those things, and she developed a huge fan base, but she's now being accused of behaving inappropriately with fans. A lot of people have called this grooming behavior because a lot of what she's doing is kind of creepy. She's alleged to have sent lingerie to a child, which I don't think she denies.
I was about to say, that's the first time I know, like, the point of saying it. It's weird hearing someone say allegedly sent lingerie to a child. I understand the reasoning for doing it, but that caught me off guard. I've never heard that before. Obviously, I understand the reason he's saying it.
To have asked a child for pictures of his butt, to have sent pornography to a child, and it wasn't pictures of her, it was pictures of a close friend of hers who trusted her.
Speaking of that, did you all see Trisha launched her podcast today and talked? Oh, Runkle, thank you for following back. Currently watching Adam watching my video, Inception, also nervous. Nothing to be nervous about. Did you see Trisha responded in her podcast today? Where is it? Here it is.
What it was. I absolutely love it. I mean, as long as you never like sent my like naked images to make fun of me.
You can count on me to never do that.
You know, sometimes I get blindsided. I'm like, oh my god, yeah. I didn't know.
I at least have a good moral compass too. Okay. I would say, yeah, like just for like the barometer of morality.
So, first of all, this is kind of the best I've seen Trisha look ever. Like, she looks gorgeous. I don't know if like it's like the setting is making her look so Barbie-ish, but like that dress and hair, she looks good. She looks good. All right, let's get back to this.
Her, who she betrayed by sending those pictures to a child to mock them. So, quite reasonably, a lot of people have called this grooming behavior. Now, Colleen Ballinger responded to this with sort of
I'm not a groomer. I'm just a loser who didn't understand I shouldn't talk to fans, and I'm not a predator. I'm not a predator, even though a lot of you think so. Wait, how's it go? I'm not a groomer. I'm just a loser, because I didn't understand I shouldn't talk to fans, and I'm not a predator, even though a lot of you think so. What's the next line? Because 5 years ago, I made a fart joke. Is that really the... Oh, yes, it is! How did I miss that? Wow, what a crazy run. So it's, I'm not a groomer. I'm just a loser. Because I didn't understand I shouldn't talk to fans, and I'm not a predator, even though a lot of you think so, because 5 years ago, I made a fart joke. And then she looks in the camera like that.
Apology video, except there was no apology in it. There was ukulele, but no apology. And it's really
there was
more of a video
ukulele.
that blames everyone else.
Yep.
Well, now Vanity Fair has come out with an article with their opinion. And it's a bad opinion. It's really, really awful. And I'm going to talk about why.
So validating to hear.
So this one is Vanity Fair, How the Miranda Sings / Colleen Ballinger Scandal Went Off the Rails. And I'm just going to say, I disagree entirely with the whole went off the rails
Let's
notion
go!
that they have here. So there are a few sort of critical points that they want to respond here, or want to make. They say, however inappropriate her alleged behavior was, the article clarified that no sexual crime had been committed, and that no evidence in review even hinted at the possibility that Ballinger had intended to start a sexual relationship with a child.
Just the fact that none of us said that, like, the only thing they can do to defend her is something we haven't even accused her of doing. Crazy.
Ballinger did not respond to Rolling Stone's multiple requests for comment. And they have other sort of key elements here. They deny that this was grooming behavior. They say, oh no, it's not grooming.
She's just a loser.
And we'll talk about that. And they also really kind of blame one of the victims here, Adam McIntyre, and say that, hey, they suggest that he's doing it for the drama and, for clicks. Which...
I'm glad other people are seeing that that's what they painted it as, because, like, obviously whenever I'm reading this, I'm, like, just, like, sensitive to it in general because they're writing about me. But I'm so glad that other people are seeing that the entire article was trying to paint me as this kind of way.
So, let's talk about this. They say, listen, it's not grooming behavior. It's just this kind of joking, friendly, inappropriate setting that she'd created. Well, and that she hasn't actually, offended against any children. Well, there is actually the possibility that some of her actions might be criminal. Sending pornography to children is banned in a lot of places. I'd have to track down sort of jurisdiction issues and so forth, but that's sort of a there is smoke here kind of thing. There's also an allegation.
And by the way, can we keep in mind something that Trisha Paytas told us as well, that I think gets overlooked a lot because of Trisha's, just big denouncement? Trisha Paytas told us that Colleen Ballinger literally told her about the conversations happening. She blamed me for them happening. She said it was me that was sending them. However, she indirectly confirmed that the conversations were happening.
That she was putting cheese puffs down her pants and inviting children to go in after them to retrieve them on stage. So that may also be grounds for charges. Plenty of other behavior is sort of creepy and weird, but not necessarily criminal. But here is the thing. They come out and they're really strong in their defense of saying that it's not grooming. And they say this is a paragraph that should just be...
And this is something as well. It's like... It's something so crazy to me, just, like, based on the fact that, like what Runkle said there. They're so, like, strong in it. They're not, like, in the middle about these allegations. They're very strongly on Colleen's side. Like, very strongly and very against me. Like, they're not in the middle. They're not anything. They're very strongly against me. Which just, like... I don't know. I do not know.
Shocking to people. They say the substance of Ballinger's alleged grooming has not gone beyond what McIntyre has described in his videos, or what a few other fans alleged thereafter. That's a weird defense. It has not been interrogated by media outlets reporting on the controversy either. HuffPost published...
And so, like, being like, it has not been interrogated by... news publications. But every other news publication has, like, reached out to all of the people involved, and this one hasn't. And this one hasn't. It's just, like, so weird. It's so weird that their main argument is literally that other articles, other publications didn't do their due diligence, didn't do their whatever, in an article where they don't do any themselves.
Allegations of grooming flexibly employ the term in a fashion not unlike how it's weaponized in far-right circles against LGBTQ people. The described behavior does not approach the sexual exploitation or abuse that the actual definition of grooming indicates. Okay, so let's talk about grooming because I do criminal defense. So you get to see, and I say get to as in more have to, what these things look like. You learn a little bit about what this looks like in when people actually practice it. And the thing is that grooming behavior, when you're talking about abusive behavior, doesn't look abusive if you're not being careful or if you're not looking at it carefully. It's often phrased as this sort of jokey kind of thing because
And I think that's also such a great point. Because I think a lot of people say that, where it was like, you know what, it wasn't, malicious because she was just making jokes and, Yeah, but the full thing, the argument that we were making is that she was breaking down boundaries. No one said she wanted to literally have sex with any of us. The fuck is wrong with you if you're even, none of us said that. You're, creating that. But what we did say was that she was actively wanting to break down our boundaries, which she did. So I'm glad that he's making this
because the people
comparison.
doing it know that they're at risk. When you're talking about actual offenders, they know that they're at risk in this process. And so they want to maintain deniability all the way up until something undeniable happens. Now,
It is about power
I
and
don't
control.
know if that's where Ballinger was going with any of this. Like, we don't know what the future would have held had things been different. But this does seem to be a situation where we're saying, okay, maybe she hasn't abused anybody, but it
Oh my
certainly
god,
looks
Runkle in
like
the
the
chat.
pattern
Hello.
here is
Hello, Runkle.
one that is familiar, one that is seen before. Vanity Fair's throwing in of LGBTQ people in this is frankly reprehensible. It has no connection to this.
And also, isn't the journalist part of said community? I don't want to assume, but I'm pretty sure I saw photos. Chat, can we confirm or deny? He is. Because I'm pretty sure I saw photos of him having... Okay, he has a husband. Are we sure? Are we sure he has a husband? He does have a husband. Confirmed, confirmed, confirmed.
We're talking about somebody sending pornography and lingerie to a child. That's not nothing, right? That's not nothing at all. And this article really seems to blame McIntyre in a bunch of places. They say, oh, he asked for the lingerie. Well, no kidding. That's what happens when you take a child and immerse them in an inappropriate, sexualized environment in order to...
But also, something to note is she was the one that initiated this. She was the one that initiated this, right? And she was also the one that said, do you want them? It was her and Corey that were saying, do you want them? It was Corey saying, take a picture of them the way I'm wearing them over my clothes. So when you're, as a child, responding to that...
that is what happens. And I'm just going to say, if your defense is the kid, the child, wanted it, then you should probably be thrown into the sun to go have a little swim. This is ridiculous. Your defense on this should never be the child wanted it. Vanity Fair, what the heck are you doing? This comes off as an insane defense of behavior that is indefensible. Grooming behavior, when we're talking about in the context of sexually abusive behavior, and we don't know if that's where this was going, but all of these things, if there was somebody if somebody came to me and said, my kid is going through these things, there's this person who's sending them underwear and porn and, this kind of thing, my advice would be get your kid out right now. You don't know where it's going, but you don't...
I think that's such a great point that he's bringing up, where, people are constantly talking about, like, what was her, opinion, or where was she going with it and stuff like this. And it's like, you never know how much deeper it could have gotten. Obviously, that's pure speculation and stuff like that. But it's like, this is why you should be telling parents, warning them of the warning signs of stuff. This is why we should be talking about things like this. We should be talking about people that abuse the power so that you can identify it yourself or identify it in what's happening to your children. Because you never know, a random stranger who could do this to your child could, be going even further with it. And I just think, that's an even scarier thought. That's an even scarier thought.
Don't want to find out what's at the end of that train ride. It's, this is really concerning behavior and something that we shouldn't be writing lengthy apologies for. I can also say, just to be really frank and to put none too fine a point on it, if Colleen Ballinger was a guy and was doing this same stuff, we would have lost our collective minds by now going after her. And, that isn't to say that it would be inappropriate to do so. We would be going, nobody would be writing these puff pieces saying, oh, well, it's not so bad.
True.
This piece, quite frankly, reeks of PR agent. And PR agents contact news organizations.
This is so validating to hear. Obviously, this is, just Runkle's opinion and stuff like this, but this is also the opinion I have. So this is so validating to hear.
And opinion organizations all the time to say, hey, could you write a friendly piece? Sometimes they even ghostwrite those. And I don't know if that's what happened here, but it certainly seems possible. It would be an explanation for why this weird article exists. And if it's not the explanation, well, then that's worse for Vanity Fair, not better.
Damn, that's a good point. That's a good point. Like, if you were tipped off to write this article or someone else wrote it on your behalf, that's almost a better thing to happen than if you wrote this off of your own accord. Damn, I haven't even thought about it like that. Like, Vanity Fair, you should really hope that this was something that was like that, because if someone wrote this on their own accord for your publication, what the fuck? Jesus, I didn't even think of that.
Quite frankly, what I think they should do is yank this one, like just replace it with we posted an article, we don't stand by it, and instead replace it with an apology to Adam McIntyre, because it comes off kind of hit piecey.
Thank you!
On somebody who there seems to have been some offending against. He seems to be the victim in this, not the aggressor.
Thank you! Thank you!
Maybe don't write a hit piece about him.
Thank you!
Just a thought. Anyway, this story, the more I dig into it, the more I just kind of shake my head and wonder what's going on. She's saying, hey, I don't deserve to be canceled. Well, nobody owes you an audience. Nobody owes you their eyeballs.
Ooh! Oh, I was not expecting that little hit. Oh, my God. Jesus, I have to move around in my chair for that one. Fucking hell.
And if people find your behavior to be reprehensible, they might vote with their feet and vote with their wallets and go elsewhere. So, yeah.
Wow.
That said, don't know for certain if she's committed any criminal offenses. There are some things here that certainly smell that way, but I haven't been able to dig into it 100% on any of that. And you get weird questions of jurisdiction, especially when this spans across multiple countries. That becomes its own headache. But the behavior here is certainly creepy and off-putting. We can go at least that far. Right, Vanity Fair? Can we at least agree that this is not okay?
I think that's such, imagine having to say that to, one of the biggest news publications in the entire world. Vanity Fair, is it okay to just admit that what happened with Colleen was wrong? Andrew Quintana be like, no. Blocked.
Please? Anyone? Yeah. Parents, if your kids start, talking about how oh yeah, there's this cool adult in their life who is joking about this stuff and shows them porn and stuff like that, get them out. Get them out right now.
And that's why it's so important to talk about this. And I see the people involved in this always say that as well. Like, how dare you try to shut any of us up? Because, like, we are alerting parents or future parents or people around our age or people possibly that stumble across it that are going through a certain situation to realize the comparisons. Think of how many people have spoken up against things that have happened in their life whenever they've heard a friend speak up against something, or whether they've heard, someone they trust, or maybe, a friend's friend or something like that. The more people talk about it, the more people can realize it within themselves if they are going through something.
You can't fix the things that are often after those steps. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I just kind of had to make this video because I read that article and it made me angry, like straight up angry.
Same, sister.
So, yeah. Please like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to see more content. But I'm going to link the Vanity Fair article in the description below. So
oh my god, look. Posted for completeness, but I do not recommend giving them the click. This shady little fucker.
You can check it out, but maybe if you don't need to, don't, because they're probably also rage farming clicks here. If I don't, people are going to say, oh, why didn't you link it? But I'm going to encourage you to just leave that link unclicked.
He's so shady.
But thank you for watching. I also want to thank my Patreon supporters.
All right. Well, Runkle, I know you were or are in the chat. Thank you for popping in, and thank you for this video. I appreciate it, and I appreciated hearing your take on the last video you made on this, and this one as well, and I'm glad it was posted while I was on stream, so I got to watch it tonight. Hearing your take is always something that opens my eyes up more and stuff like this. I really appreciate this, and I love the sass that you threw in with it. So sending Runkle so much love. Everyone, please go over and send this video some love. Go over and subscribe. The channel is called Runkle of the Bailey, I'm pretty sure. Runkle of the Bailey. Go over. There's some other good videos I was watching last night on there. So yeah. Oh, sorry. Runkle of the Bailey. Right here, go over and show some love. And Runkle, thank you so much again. I really appreciate it.